you.
Okay, he's right next to me. He wants to hear me in stereo. Stimen Chav Gimel, Tzatz Dine, Kriya Sefer Torah, Boy Lamed Zif, very long sifs. Yeah, it's very long sif. So Kishametziin, as a Sefer Torah in Aron Kodesh. When you take up the Sefer Torah in Aron Kodesh, the nice El Teva, and you carry it to the Teva, meaning to the what we call the Bima. Shakarim by Sham, that's how you read it. Nice Derech Tzafan. So you carry it the north way, Shuli Yamina Noitze. That's to the right of the person carrying it. Meaning when he's facing the Tzibur, right? He turns around, the Chazan turns around, he's going to go to the north, and which is to his right. Which Masir and I say, what do you mean? Oh, yes. Yes, you're getting it. Yeah, yeah, that's a big tumult. Okay, we'll get to that. And I say, when you bring it to the Aron Kodesh, nice there of Durham, you go from the south. I think what we do is seem to be incorrect. Many people came out and what, you hold it the right way? Yeah. He's not going to discuss it? I thought maybe last year would. Let's wait and then we'll remind me, yeah? When you bring it back to the Aron HaKodesh, nice and derech Durham, you bring it to the south. It's even lahafsik, it's a Sefer Torah b'yad yamin. You have to hold the Sefer Torah in your right hand. U'mitzvah al kol adam sha Sefer Torah over lefanav she'yilavo ad el teva. This is another halacha that many people don't keep. It's a mitzvah to everybody to go with the Sefer Torah. You should be malavid. You should accompany it until the bima. It doesn't seem like we do this. What? Anything. Yeah, Lachar pass it out within 4 amas. I think it means within 4 amas. But anyways, that doesn't seem like we do this, right? You're supposed to accompany it. No, the people in the back of the shul don't have to do it. Right? People in the back of the shul don't, only the people that it passes, I think. Yeah, but it says in mitzvah al kol adam shasei Torah over lefanav. So you want to say, how do you define over lefanav?
Once it passes you, you join it. You join the line.
That's for sure. Once it passes you, for sure.
You join the line.
You're supposed to. We don't do it. We don't do it.
Some people do this. Some people do it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm saying maybe over lefanav also means that the whole shul should come to the front of the shul. That would be a little hard to imagine. Okay, base. So whoever gets an aliyah, he should wear a talis with tzitzis. From the test if you're aleph. Right? And you should go the fastest way. The reason why some people don't put on, see them do not put on a talis, because if it's on Shabbos, they hold that Shabbos is considered a ice, and if it's in the Shachris, so the tefillin is considered enough. I think that's the longest why to see them. So you don't need another. But if you didn't have tefillin on, it's out covered. It's like there's something extra going on. I think that's what the Chassidim do. You should go the shortest route and go back with the longest route. And let's say it's exactly equal. You go up the right way and you go up the right and then you come down the opposite. You always go down the opposite. No, you go up to the right. To the right. I think so. You should go the fastest way. When you come back, you go around, you go that way, yeah. Yeah. Fine. In schnell, fine. And the person who gets the aliyah should wait by the bima until the person who gets the aliyah after him finishes his bracha, then v'yari ben gaver legaver, then go down between gaver legaver. Meaning, don't go down when he starts making his bracha. Wait for the next guy to finish his bracha, and that's when you go down. Right? Unless it's maftir for ofruf and you're going to get bombed. So then maybe if you got shvi, so then get out of there. Most places don't. Yeah. Gimel, Pesach Sefer Torah. If you open the Sefer Torah, and you look which part is going to be read, and you hold it open with both your hands, and you have to close your eyes. Now, what's the shot that you close your eyes? Because otherwise, if you don't keep your eyes closed, it's going to look like you're reading the brachas are written in the Sefer Torah, which they're not. So some some keep their eyes open and put their head to the left, some put their head to the right. But one thing is for sure, you should not be looking in the Sefer Torah when you're making the brachas. Closing you shouldn't do, because closing causes to the tzibura, because then he has to reopen. Although there are those that hold you should close it. So the brachas are usually to your left. Okay, that's some say, right. That's why is the Batpira on the left? He's not going to discuss it. I don't think it's so important to put your head to the left. But I know, but I don't think in the thing he's supposed to be on the left. The Balkar is always supposed to be on the left because that's the way it was by Moshe Rabbeinu, right? I think so. Let's see, right? Don't say anything about kissing it. However, Baruch Hu Hashem b'vayrach v'yeshalom b'kol k'tei shishmu kol hakol. You should say the Baruch Hu out loud so that the tzibur hears it. Baruch Hashem b'vayrach le'olam v'ed. When the tzibur doesn't hear him, even though the shliach tzibur heard him, they should not answer. I don't think people are makbid on this either. Meaning, if the guy that gets the aliyah says it so low that only the chazan, only the balkaira hears him, and he says it out loud, you should not answer. You should just answer amen to the balkaira, saying Baruch Hashem Baruch Le'olam. Right? Oh well, what? Yeah. Fine. La Hashtanu Akol Baruch Hashem Baruch Le'olam V'ed. Chayzer Ha'il Gam Kein Baruch Hashem Baruch Le'olam V'ed. Baruch HaBaracha Asher Baruch HaBanu. V'en Alcohol Amen. Masalik is Yodei Asmalis. Right? And then you take off your left hand. And you should hold the Sefer Torah in your hand with only your right. The Balkaira is the one that reads it out loud. And he, the one who gets the Aliyah, should say it along with him quietly. So Balkaira told me that most people don't do this. Is that true? I thought most people do read along with the Balkaira. I don't know, but a big Balkaira told me, I should text it out in the halacha text because people don't read along with them. I don't know. I thought people do. So if they're trying to do the Mava Seder fast, right? The Ein HaKaira was trying to look right. Yeah. The Ein HaKaira was trying to look right. And the Balkaira is not allowed to read but he shouldn't start reading until he says Amen. Same thing what we said by Chazor Sashatz. You should not start the Amen until you shouldn't start the Amen. You shouldn't start the next bracha of Chazor Sashatz until the Amen is finished from everybody in the tzibur. Yeah. Right, well if it's too long, yeah. Everybody in the tzibur should have kavanah to listen well to the Kriyas HaTorah. Then after the Aliyah, he goes and he holds the Sefer Torah with his left hand again, meaning he's holding it with both hands. Then you roll it closed, and then you make the bracha. right? So it's unclear why do you roll it closed. So the reason is, the reason you're rolling it closed is because it's going to stay closed in between the aliyahs, right? But I never got it clear why. I didn't work too hard on it. Why don't you make the bracha and then when you're calling up the next aliyah, then close it? Stick with the tzibura, right? Why do you not close it and reopen it by the first bracha? Because you don't want to have tikkun tzibura, right? So here too. So keep it open by the bracha and then close it once he's calling up. I don't know. And then on before aliyah also. Correct. 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 But for the first bracha, it does. Okay, I don't know. Dalit. Also left in Sefer Torah ba'atzmai aram. You're not allowed to hold on to the Sefer Torah itself with bare hands. You should hold the talis, right? Or hold it in amudim. Meaning we put amudim. That's why we put them there, right? But theoretically, you could have a Sefer Torah without amudim, and it's like a Megillah. If that's the case, then you can't touch it with your hand. Right. So they have this shmatas hanging there. Yeah. Yesh machmir and shagam ba'amudim ein oifsin aram ela al yidei talis, and there are those that are machmir that even the amudim you should only hold with a talis, right? Yes, it's all from the Yurtes Kezeus in the Shabbat. Hey, the one who's getting the aliyah and the balkara have to be standing. Even just to lean on something is also. Because he has to stand up be'ema. The same way the Torah was given with fear. We also have to, when we're hearing the Torah, it's like hearing the Torah from Moshe Sinai, and therefore you have to stand like that. Somebody who's weak, he's allowed to lean on something. This is talking about the one getting the aliyah. Yeah? Fine. The Shah, everybody has to stand out. See, you don't have to stand to that. The only thing you have to stand for is Baruch Hu. That you have to stand. Everything else you could sit. And Svardim even sit for Baruch Hu. Right? Yeah, those that are medactic in mitzvahs are machmir on themselves, and that's the proper thing to do. But there's no reason to be standing bein gavra legavra. Yeah, fine. Zion and makar ba'atzim hu oilu l'Torah. Let's say the balkara gets the aliyah. You have to put somebody next to him. The same way the Torah was given through an interpreter, right? An intermediary. Moshe Rabbeinu alav hashalom, that's who that was. So we have to have somebody standing there as an intermediary. So that is interesting. Because this is what? It doesn't say both sides. It doesn't say both sides. It only says one side. And the side. So it's also talking about when he's a Kayin, with Kayin, because after Kayin, the guy from the previous Ali is standing there. That's two. That's true, but that's that. So the Mishnah Berurah is the one that brings down three. He says the Gabai, the Balkaira, and the Oila. Right? Yes. The Balkaira and another guy. That's it. Yeah. Test. Once the Balkaira starts reading, nobody's allowed to talk. Right? Even in Divrei Torah. Right? Now and the Mishnah Berurah says also that's even if somebody already heard Kriyas HaTorah. I mean, you can't sit in the Beis Medrash and shmooze like you're in Chaim Vashalom, right? And then you already heard laning, and you can't just sit and speak. You got to get out of there.
So there's only two people standing up there. Who calls out the aliyahs?
You don't need to have somebody up there calling out the aliyah. You could have somebody calling it out from the back. I don't think it's. I think the reason why we want the guy by standing up there is he acts as the third guy. I think that's a shot, but in theory, you don't have to. Right? The minig in the belt is three people. The minig is three people. The Shabbos says three people. Anyway, so it says Vafilo ben Gavra legavra, even between Gavra legavra. They don't, right there. Well, also lots of basic knesses. This is another halacha that's very important to know. It's also lotzes basic knesses kesha shekayra b'Torah. Right? You're not allowed to leave shul when they're reading the Torah. Right? Even ben Gavra legavra shasefer Torah leguleles yochal lotzes the Torah gadol. Right? When the Sefer Torah is closed, you're allowed to go out, but the Torah only for the Torah Gadol. So in the middle of an aliyah, you can't leave. In between aliyahs, you could leave, but only for the Torah Gadol. If not a Torah Gadol, you can't leave. Okay, we'll stop there. Everybody should have a fine night. I think you said pet. That's a test. Hold on. Sorry. Test also. What? Between the two, that's the same. There's no like. I don't know. He wants to know. He's asking if when you have two Sifrei Torah, so when they're both wrapped up, so that is that called Ben Gavra Legavra, or is that's a recess? I don't know. Okay, Tess. So Tess, because sheyesh kohen b'beis haknesses, when there's a kohen in the shul, tzrichin likros Isaac Tefillah, you have to call him up first, right? The kohen gets the first aliyah. Bafilu imhu am haaretz, even if the kohen's in am haaretz, elashu adam kasher, but he's a adam kasher who kaidem afilu tamad chacham. He comes first, even before a tamad chacham, which is not so pashut. From the Gemaras, it sounds like the tamad chacham should go first, but the minig is that even an Amoritz Kohen goes first. If you have a Kohen writes a limchol lemani, even if the Kohen wants to be Michael, it doesn't help. Bachar Kohen Karen Levi, and after the Kohen we call a Levi, V'mein Sham Levi, and there's no Levi Kohen as a Kohen Asher Olav and Kohen, then you call up the Kohen that just went up, you call him in the place of the Levi, V'ayim B'm Kohen Levi, and you say he's in Makam Levi. Right? Meaning the reason why you have to say the Kohen Levi is because if somebody walks in and sees the Kohen being called up as a Levi, they're going to question his yichus. Right? So therefore, you say the Kohen Levi. I don't know. If ain't Kohen b'beis haknesses, if there's no Kohen, Kohen Levi or Yisrael, you can call a Levi or Yisrael. V'yesh lukras es a yoysa god of a Torah shenimtza sham. You should call up whoever's the biggest in the Torah. Ayin Magen Avraham, Sim Kufla Mehesev, Kot and Zayin. Right? Meaning that the Magen Avraham says that you give it to the most learned, not the oldest. That there's no Kohen here, then the Levi become Kohen, or Yisrael become Kohen, or Yisrael in the place of the Kohen. Right? Because again, you don't want to think that all of a sudden this Yisrael became a Kohen. When Yisrael become Kohen, ain't Kohen Achar of Levi. If you call up a Yisrael for Kohen, then you cannot give a Levi. Right? Because here we're afraid that they didn't hear the announcement, right? And then they call up, so they're going to think that the first guy was a Kohen if a Levi gets it. No, meaning if you call up a Yisrael but become Kohen, then you can't call a Levi because somebody might have missed the Kohen. Right? And he's going to see that this guy's a Levi. And he's say, oh, so if he's a Levi, then the guy that got the previous Aliyah must be a Kohen. Right? Even though you announced the Mufan Kohen. Right? Okay. Now, also the Mishabura brings that you shouldn't call up two Leviim. Right? If you called up a Levi for Kayin, don't call up another Levi. All right? Because then they might think, what's going on here with the Leviim? Yishuv Shekulam Kehanim Leviim. What are you going to do if you have a Yishuv that's all Kehanim Leviim? Yasu Shelas Chacham Et Yisnagu. You have to ask a Shelas Chacham. This comes up sometimes when a lot of times families go on. Yes, when they have there you usually have Israel, but sometimes you have family go on a retreat and they're all Kehanim. So there's one poor son-in-law who's not a Kohen. So he's stuck in between. You're Kohen and then back to the Yisrael, then back and forth. Anyways, yeah. All right. Tigers and everybody. Have a fine night. That's 2 fine nights. Penny, that makes up for the other fine night that I missed. I don't know if it's a deal. I don't know. Well, you don't really have to. It depends how long it's going to be, how long the Aliyah is going to be, how long is it here. No, in Sulitz, they cover right during the bracha. Most other places, you don't want to cover by the bracha. You don't want to say for Torah. Because you're making a bracha on the Torah, so you don't why you're covering it. That's true, but it's you close the Sefer Torah, but you're making a bracha on the Torah. Yeah? I don't know. You know, when you're making a bracha on something, you don't keep it covered. I don't know if it has to do with the same point that's about the Lechem Mishnah. Huh? But still, the Torah is still in front of you. No, but you don't, you uncover it. I think. Yeah.